Welcome inside the W.B.Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Ryan LeFay, joined by Dennis Papadatos, the head coach of the Hofstra wrestling program. And coach, let's just talk about this past week, matches against Ryder, matches against Drexel as well. We'll start with Ryder and a loss to the Bronx 31-7. Frank Affronti with a nice win, Michael Hughes with a major decision. How about their matches, and how about just your team as a whole?
Obviously, not where we wanted to go. I still think we could beat them, and there was a lot of tough matchups and matches that people weren't sure which way they were going to go, and they won the majority of them, and hence the score that way. So, it's same thing's going to happen when you talk about Drexel in a minute. Same thing kind of happened. So frustrated, happy with the fact that I think guys, went out there and competed and tried, and did what they could, fell short. So I'm a little frustrated on, okay, the effort's there, but just because effort's not the only thing you need to do, because the other team, the other kid has effort too, so you have to start winning the tough situations. And in the last two dual meets, if there was 100 tough situations, we lost 85 of them. So, that can't happen. So we gotta, find out the reason why, because when it's not effort, or it's not, ability, there's gotta be a reason. So guys we need to get, I know it's cliche and I say that all the time, but it's the truth. I think we just need to have more belief, which will help you be a little tougher. But the guys are doing the right thing. The truth is, progress is being made. Unfortunately, we're probably going to see it all together at one time. But I wish we saw it this weekend. But it's it wasn't the gloomiest day on the planet. Obviously, I don't like the result, but we're still going to get where we want to be.
And we'll talk about the other match as well. Senior day at home against Drexel, the final home match of the season, and the Drexel Dragons win this one 26-9. But Michael Hughes goes to 6-0 in EIWA matches so far this season. So really, just how about his performance so far this season in EIWA matches, and really just what went wrong for your team against the Dragons?
Like I said, the same thing. There was tough matches that we. They kind of pulled out, but they did what they had to do. So kudos to them, and that's what we're missing. We're not trading right. It's not we don't have the right people, but like sometimes just finding a way to get it done is what we're missing. So and it gets hard when and it's been a long process of the culture has been for the last few years to not find a way to get it done. So now you're trying to switch it, and you can't. It doesn't all come all together. But a good example is I thought Hughes underperformed. He's much better than that kid, and he left the kid in the match, and it shouldn't have been that way. He was a little cautious and tentative on one of his positions, and I told him it shouldn't matter because the kid can't do it to him. But so I wish he was a little more, like he went after the Ryder kid. He wanted to dominate, and he did. And I think that kid's the same level as the Ryder kid. We could have dominated him the same. So, but it's nice that he didn't, really wrestles his potential. He still easily won the match. So, we just got to keep him, more towards his top end, and he'll be scary. It's nice that he's 6-0. But losing tough situations, repeatedly, sometimes not you're doing things wrong, just not finding a way has been a frustration, and we're going to keep working on it. And, that's what we need the most of, for sure.
Two more matches to end the season at Harvard and at Brown, two EIWA opponents. Really, what's the mentality? What is the game plan going into these final two matches of the regular season?
It's you got to put it together as we talked about in practice. You've got some people say, well, we're going to put it together. It's going to come together at the IWA tournament, and yeah, you can do that. But everyone, if you talk about the light at the end of the tunnel, every team in the country is the light at the end of the tunnel for them. Every team in the IWA. So a lot of people, you can't rely that it's all going to come together. You can still have it come together, but make it a little easier by ending the season on a high note, ending the season against two EIWA people that kind of show your dominance. So if you run into them in the EIWA tournament, they just lost to you 2 weeks ago, and they don't feel like wrestling you. So that's the mindset we're going. We're going on. You're allowed to start peaking from this weekend. You can start peaking now. Wrestle on the IWA's internationals. So it would be. If it doesn't go the way we want this weekend, which we don't expect it not to, but it's not the end of the world. But let's make life a little easier for a change, and get it done now, get it done in the IWA, and get it done in the Nationals. It is the stretch, it is the sprint. So, that's the mindset, to go in with the same mindset as if it is the IWA tournament and go all out and get the results we want to put us in a good mental mood to get ready for the IWA tournament when it really, really does count and really does matter.
And 2.5 weeks until that EIWA championships, 4 weeks until the NCAA tournament. So, Coach, a lot to reflect on so far this season. I mean, what are just some of your overall thoughts of the season so far, and what do you maybe want to bring into the EIWA tournament and the NCAAs?
It's a good question. Progress for sure, because we had to do some things this year, things happened this year that probably would have happened last year that I wouldn't let happen last year for, like I said, we didn't come into normal circumstances, when I got here 2 years ago, and a lot of stuff that you talk about building a culture and changing a culture and building a program, like people talk about that 3 and 5 year plan. I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that you normally do in year one, so I did a lot of it this year. So, put us kind of a year behind, but progress was still made. The attitude, the culture's gotten much better. It just takes a little bit for the results to come. Like I said, I know we're ending year 2, but barring the cookie cutter textbook way you have to approach it, since we couldn't approach it that way, we're kind of a year behind it. So, it means a lot to be at the NCAA tournament. So, looking back on the year, there was some downs that I didn't think would have happened, but it is what it is. Progress will be made, and it's just not on my clock or the guys' clock. But just trying to stay confident and positive to keep dredging through the lows. So you really appreciate the highs when they come. We still believe the highs are coming. We still believe they can and will come this year, and we're still very confident for the end of the season and for the future. So that's the only way. It's the only perspective you can have on it if you want it to go the way you want it to go. And it's honestly what I believe in my heart. So it's pretty easy to say. So. Progress, not exactly the way we would have wanted it, but we're still going to be all right.
Final 2 matches of the year for the Hofstra wrestling program in the regular season at Harvard and at Brown. Dennis Papadatos, the head coach of the Hofstra wrestling team. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun.
And thank you for watching the W.B.Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.